Thank you for having us in this opportunity. We appreciate it. We're all professors at Northeastern University, school psychologists by training, experts on the issue of assessment. All reform efforts, no matter how carefully conceived, have flaws. Uncorrected defects have the insidious effect of eventually undermining and overshadowing our accomplishments. The Massachusetts Education Reform Act is no exception. Chief among the Reform Act's defects is the over-reliance on a single test, the MCAS, to determine a student's eligibility for a high school diploma. 16 years ago, little was known about the effectiveness of high-stakes tests. Today, we have good evidence that high-stakes tests like the MCAS do not accomplish their intended aims. Within the last year, two of the best studies on high-stakes tests were published in scholarly journals. Both studies found no relationship between the use of these tests and high school students' academic achievement. Furthermore, both studies also found that high-stakes testing, such as the MCAS, does nothing to close the achievement gap. We also have evidence that the MCAS graduation requirement is disproportionately denying diplomas to the groups that education reform was intended to help. Shannon and TJ are not alone. In the 2007 graduating class alone, more than 2,000 students with disabilities failed to pass at least one of the MCAS exams and didn't graduate on time. I support House Bill number 3660 because it is consistent with the best available research and ethical conduct in using assessment instruments. One of the most important aspects of the bill is the proposal to use multiple measures to determine a student's eligibility for a high school diploma. It will rectify the most serious flaw of the Reform Act, the denial of a high school diploma because of the results on a single test. Public policy should not be based on illusory correlations, intuition, anecdote, simple nostrums that equate high standards with high stakes tests. Public policy must have research on its side. And research is not on the side of high-stakes tests such as the MCAS. Massachusetts, with its illustrious history of public education, should be in the vanguard of improving the use of these tests. House Bill 3660 will advance that noble goal. Nothing less than the welfare of our most vulnerable children hangs in the balance.
I'm Emmanuel Mason, and I think that the Massachusetts Comprehensive Assessment System is an excellent test. It's well conceived, beautifully constructed, and has the potential to be useful if used differently than it's currently used. A flaw that it shares with all academic tests is that it's not a perfect representation of what a child knows. The impact of this flaw is exacerbated by how the MCAS is used currently as the one single indicator of a student's eligibility for a high school diploma. No reputable professional organization in the testing field has endorsed the use of a single test of academic achievement as sole criteria for determining a student's level of ability or performance. the American Psychological Association, the American Educational Research Association, the National Council on Measurement on Education, the National Association of School Psychologists are among the many learned societies and scientific groups that have made public statements to this effect. We have first to look at how tests are constructed to comprehend the impossibility of creating a test that can serve as the sole criteria for graduation. The process starts with debates about content and perspective in presenting curriculum. The standards are the results of the compromises in these debates, not facts, not inviolable laws, but necessary compromises so that we can move on. This is where the problem with the test begins. The compromises do not affect all children, schools, classroom settings, and teachers the same way. The role of the consensus and compromise is important in all aspects of development, scoring, and policy, so that the process can be implemented without eternal discussion and paralysis. But consensus and compromise are, by their very nature, not scientific or factual, and does not provide a clear basis for absolute decisions. I support House Bill number 3660 because it is based on more informed consensus than was possible earlier, and that is consistent with scientific research on assessment and academic testing, recommended practices in the field, and experience with the MCAS. I support the bill because it proposes to use multiple criteria to determine a student's eligibility for graduation. It will be fairer to the students, teachers, and schools, and help remove the aura of teaching to the test that has been so damaging to the perception of the quality of learning going on in the schools. Massachusetts has a long-held and envious position in American education. It should now show leadership in how to integrate high-stakes testing results into a more meaningful set of criteria for determining students' eligibility for graduation.
My name is Jie Li. I probably will be very brief because all I wanted to say is already said by my colleagues, also by parents and others today. One thing I want to say I think need to be heard is the population of the bilingual and children who have English as their second language. According to research, we really have a serious problem not only with MCAS but with other standard tests, because we really haven't taken into full consideration of available research how there's a serious validity issue of predictive validity issue and concurrent validity issue of using the standard test without any modification or adjustment to test the bilingual children. Because children, even bilingual, among bilingual, have different levels of English proficiency. For those like my children who are proficient in English, do very well with MCAS. But for those who are not very fluent in English, not only would show low MCAS English, but also show low MCAS score in math and science. Some even pass MCAS, yet still not showing their true ability because all the tests are highly mediated by language. When the test given in a foreign language or language that they don't master well yet, really showing depressed score. So for that reason, I really want this committee to consider that piece. And also I want to say again that I support the bill of 3660 for its consideration of including standard tests along with other measures and also also multiple sources of assessing a child's achievement. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions?
One question for you, or actually a request, if you could get us the citation to the 2 articles or studies that you mentioned, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
Anyone else for the questions? No, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Captain Skinner. Oh, I'm sorry, I have a panel